China has started building something that sounds unreal. They are drilling a massive tunnel through one of the tallest mountains on Earth. This tunnel will carry huge amounts of water, enough to flood a city every single hour. The energy from this water could power around 30 million homes. The tunnel itself is extremely long, even longer than the distance between London and Brighton, and the location makes it even more shocking. This mountain sits in one of the most earthquake-prone regions in the world. Despite all these risks, construction officially began in July 2025. The goal is simple, but massive: capture the power of falling water and turn it into electricity on a scale the world has never seen before. The amount of energy expected from this system could even supply a country like the United Kingdom for a full year. It sounds impossible, but China has already started to understand why they are spending over $130 billion on this project. You first need to understand the place where all of this begins. High in Asia lies a massive region known as the Tibetan Plateau. This place is often called Earth's third pole because it holds an enormous amount of ice and snow. Just like the Arctic and Antarctica. The plateau is huge, about 5 times bigger than France. Its average height is over 4,500 meters above sea level, which is higher than where many airplanes fly because of all the ice here. This region acts like a giant water source for Asia. Many of the continent's biggest rivers begin here, including the Indus, the Ganges, and the Mekong. This is why the plateau is often described as a natural water tower. One of these rivers is the Yarlung Sangbo River. At first, it flows normally across Tibet for more than 1,000 kilometers. But then something incredible happens when it reaches a mountain called Namha Bawa. Instead of flowing around the mountain, the river makes a sharp turn and cuts straight through the landscape in a dramatic way. And this is where things become truly extreme. When the Yarlung Sangbo River reaches Namha Bawa, it creates something extraordinary. The river suddenly makes a sharp U-turn and forms what is known as the Great Bend. In just 50 kilometers, the river drops around 2,000 meters in height. That is an enormous vertical drop in a very short distance. To imagine this, think of stacking multiple skyscrapers, like the Burj Khalifa on top of each other. That's the kind of drop we're talking about. This area forms one of the deepest gorges in the world, even deeper than the Grand Canyon when measured from peak to river. The region is extremely remote and dangerous. It is so unexplored that scientists were still discovering new animal species here as recently as 2024. That shows how untouched this place really is. But when China looked at this natural drop, they didn't just see a river. They saw one of the biggest energy opportunities on Earth. China's energy demand is massive. The country uses more electricity than the United States, and that demand continues to grow every year. Right now, a large portion of this energy comes from coal, which creates serious pollution and carbon emissions. But China has set a major goal to reach net zero emissions by 2060. To achieve this, they need to replace coal with clean energy sources. That's why China is investing heavily in solar power, wind energy, and tidal systems. But among all these, one stands out the most: hydropower. Hydropower has a big advantage. Unlike solar or wind, it works 24 hours a day because water keeps flowing constantly. China has already built more than 87,000 dams in the last 70 years. This includes the Three Gorges Dam, the largest hydroelectric project in the world. But even that is not enough. So now, China is focusing on rivers coming from the Tibetan plateau, especially the Yarlung-Tsangbo, which has unmatched energy potential. Instead of building a traditional dam, China is trying something different. They plan to drill a massive 40 to 50 kilometer tunnel straight through Namhabawa Mountain. This tunnel will carry about 2,000 cubic meters of water every second. To understand that amount, imagine an entire Olympic swimming pool emptying in just 1 second. Water will enter the tunnel at the top of the Great Bend and exit at a much lower point, skipping the river's natural path. As the water flows through, it will pass through multiple power stations placed along the tunnel. Each station will generate electricity using the force of falling water. This system is called a run-of-river design, which is more environmentally friendly than traditional dams, because it does not require flooding large areas. But even with this smart design, there is a serious problem. The ground itself is unstable. This region lies on the collision point of two tectonic plates, the Indian Plate and the Eurasian Plate. These plates are still moving, slowly pushing against each other and forming the Himalayas. Because of this, the area experiences powerful earthquakes. In 1950, a massive earthquake with a magnitude of 8.6 struck this region. It was so strong that its effects were felt over 1,500 kilometers away. The quake caused huge landslides that blocked the river for 8 days. When the blockage finally broke, a massive flood wave rushed downstream, killing over 500 people. Even in recent years, landslides and glacier collapses have blocked the river again. This means China is not asking if an earthquake will happen. They are preparing for when it happens. The Yarlung-Tsangbo River does not stay in China. After leaving Tibet, it enters India, where it is called the Brahmaputra River. Then it flows into Bangladesh, where it becomes the Jamuna River. This river supports hundreds of millions of people. Farmers depend on it for irrigation, and entire regions rely on its water and sediment to grow crops. If China changes how the water flows, it could affect both countries. Even though the system is designed to return water downstream, it may still change flow patterns and sediment movement. This could lead to floods, droughts, or reduced soil fertility. There are also political tensions between China and India, including past border conflicts. Now, controlling such an important river adds another layer of complexity. Despite all the risks, China has already started construction. This area is extremely difficult to reach. Until recently, there were no proper roads. Workers must deal with high altitude, harsh weather, and dangerous terrain. But China has experience with massive infrastructure projects. They have built huge rail networks, long bridges, and large dams that many thought were impossible. This project will include multiple tunnels and power stations, handling huge water flow and producing massive amounts of energy. The expected output is around 300 terawatt-hours per year, enough to power tens of millions of homes. The total cost could reach $170 billion, and completion is expected in the 2030s. If successful, this will become the most powerful hydroelectric system ever built. It will also show how far human engineering can go when facing nature's most extreme challenges.